Hello everyone. Today discuss cockroach circulatory system. Previous class discuss cockroach digestive system. Next one cockroach circulatory system. So the cockroach circulatory system is a very important IP 8 marks question. 8 marks question very important. First one cockroach circulatory system. The cockroach circulatory system is a open type of circulatory system. The cockroach circulatory system is a open type of The cockroach circulatory system is the open type of circulatory system. The cockroach circulatory system is the open type of circulatory system. So the open type of circulatory system means the blood is freely moving in the empty spaces. So there is no developed blood vessels are the absent. So the poorly developed blood vessels are the present in the cockroach. Poorly developed blood vessels are the present. So the blood is pumping in the empty spaces. So this type of the circulatory system is called the open type of circulatory system. So the organs are the bathed in the blood or hemolymph. The organs bathed in the blood or hemolymph. So the cockroach circulatory system is a open type of circulatory system. The cockroach circulatory system is a open type of circulatory system. The cockroach circulatory system it contains it has three parts. It has three main parts. It has three parts. First one hemocoel. First one hemocoel. Second one heart. Third one blood. So the cockroach circulatory system it has mainly containing three parts. It has mainly three parts. First one hemocoel, second one heart, third one blood. Hemocoel, heart and blood. First siding hemocoel. First siding hemocoel. First one hemocoel. So hemocoel first one it is a means hemocoel. It is a blood filled cavity. It is a blood filled cavity. Hemocoel is a blood filled cavity. Just draw the diagram. So these are the hemocoel. So the hemocoel is a blood filled cavity. Hemocoel is a blood filled cavity. So these are the filled with blood. Hemocoel is a blood filled cavity. So the hemocoel is a blood filled cavity. The hemocoel is a blood filled cavity. It is divided into three sinuses. It is divided into three sinuses. Three sinuses is divided into three sinuses through the two diaphragms. The hemocoel is divided into three sinuses through the two diaphragms. So these are the one diaphragm. So these are the another diaphragm. So the hemocoel is divided into three sinuses through the two diaphragms. The hemocoel is divided into three sinuses by two diaphragms. So these are the one sinus, second, third. The hemocoel is divided into three sinus through the two diaphragms. So these are the one is a dorsal diaphragm. dorsal diaphragm. So these are the ventral diaphragm. So the hemocoel is divided into three sinus. The hemocoel is divided into three sinuses through the two diaphragms. One is a dorsal diaphragm, another one is the ventral diaphragm. So this is to two diaphragms. One is a dorsal diaphragm. Another one is a ventral diaphragm. The hemocoel is divided into three sinuses through the two diaphragms. One is a dorsal diaphragm, another one is a ventral diaphragm. Next one, these two diaphragms, this a dorsal diaphragm or ventral diaphragm is contain a valvular openings. It has a valvular openings, valvular pores. It contain a valvular. It has a valvular openings. So the valvular openings means there are only one way allow of the blood circulation. Only one way allow of the blood circulation. So the two diaphragms has a valvular pores, valvular openings. Next one, first sinus. So they are the first sinus. The middle sinus is a ventral sinus. So they are the dorsal sinus. First one is divided into three sinuses. First one, dorsal sinus. Second one, a middle sinus. Third one, a ventral sinus. So the is divided into three sinuses. First one, dorsal sinus, middle sinus, the ventral sinus. So the dorsal sinus is also called as pericardial sinus. Dorsal sinus is also called as pericardial sinus. The middle sinus is also called as perivisceral sinus. Perivisceral sinus. So the ventral sinus is also called as perineural sinus. Perineural sinus. So the hemocoel is divided into three sinuses through the two diaphragms. One is the dorsal diaphragm, another one is the ventral diaphragm. So they are the three sinus. First sinus is the dorsal sinus, second one middle sinus, third one ventral sinus. So the dorsal sinus is also called as, so these are the dorsal sinus. These are the middle sinus. So these are the ventral sinus. So the dorsal sinus, middle sinus and ventral sinus. So the dorsal sinus is also called as pericardial sinus. The dorsal sinus is also called as pericardial sinus. The middle sinus is also called as perivisceral sinus. So the ventral sinus is also called as perineural sinus. First one, the dorsal sinus. So the dorsal sinus enclose the heart. Dorsal sinus enclose the heart. Dorsal sinus enclose the heart. So this sinus is also called as pericardial sinus. Heart means cardia. So the dorsal sinus is also called as pericardial sinus because of it contain heart. Dorsal sinus contain a heart. Next one, a middle sinus. It contain visceral organs. It contain visceral organs. It contain visceral organs. Visceral organs. It contain visceral organs. So this sinus is also called as visceral sinus. This sinus is also called as visceral sinus. Next one, so they are the ventral sinus. Ventral sinus enclose the nerve cord. Ventral sinus enclose the nerve cord. Ventral sinus enclose the nerve cord. Nerve cord. So this sinus is called as perineural sinus. Perineural sinus. So the dorsal sinus enclose the heart. So the middle sinus or perivisual sinus enclose the visceral organs. Visceral organs. Next one, the ventral sinus or perineural sinus. So it enclose the nerve cord. Nerve cord. So they are the three sinus. Next one, so the middle sinus. So the middle sinus is the largest sinus, larger sinus. So they are the middle sinus is the larger sinus and comparing to the pericardial sinus and perineural sinus. So the middle sinus is larger than the pericardial and perineural sinus. Perivisceral sinus is the larger than the pericardial and perineural sinus. Perivisceral and perineural sinus. Next one, the cockroach, each segment contain a pair of triangular muscles. So these are the triangular muscles is called the alary muscles. Each segment contain one pair of alary muscles. Each segment contain a pair of alary muscles is present. So these are the triangular shape. So these muscles are called the triangular muscles. So these are helps in the circulation. Helps in circulation. It helps in the circulation. Each segment contain a pair of triangular muscles. These muscles are called the alary muscles. These muscles helps from the circulation. So these are the hemocoel. First one, once revise, the cockroach circulatory system is the open type of circulatory system. It contains mainly three parts. First one hemocoel, second one heart, third one blood. First heading hemocoel. So the hemocoel is a blood filled cavity. It is divided into three sinus. Through the two diaphragms. One is the dorsal diaphragm, another one is the ventral diaphragm. One is the dorsal diaphragm, another one is the ventral diaphragm. Next one, the dorsal sinus. They are divided into three sinus. First one dorsal sinus, second one middle sinus, third one ventral sinus. Dorsal, middle and ventral sinus. So the dorsal sinus enclose the heart. So this sinus is also called as pericardial sinus. Dorsal sinus enclose the heart. So this sinus is also called as pericardial sinus. Next one, middle sinus. The middle sinus enclose the visceral organs. So this sinus is called the perivisceral sinus. Next one, ventral sinus. The ventral sinus enclose the nerve cord. So this sinus is called the perineural sinus. Next one, these three sinus. The perivisceral sinus is the larger than the pericardial and perineural sinus. Next one, the cockroach contain each segment contain a pair of alary muscles. So these alary muscles, the shape is the triangular shape. So these muscles are called the triangular muscles. So these alary muscles helps from the circulation. These alary muscles helps from the circulation. So these are the alary muscles. Next one, second heading heart. Next, second heading heart. Second one, heart. So the heart is a long muscular tube. Is the heart is a long muscular tube. 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 It has 13 chambers. It has 13 chambers. The heart contains a 13 chambers. The cockroach heart contains a 13 chambers. 3 chambers in thorax. 3 chambers in thorax. 3 chambers in thorax. The 3 chambers in thorax. 10 chambers in abdomen. 3 chambers in thorax, 10 chambers in abdomen. So this region is the thorax region. So they are the thorax. So these are the abdomen. Abdomen. So the cockroach heart contains 13 chambers. The cockroach heart contains 13 chambers. 3 chambers in thorax, 10 chambers in abdomen. 3 chambers in thorax, 10 chambers in abdomen. Next one, each chamber. So the each chamber connecting to the another through the openings. Each chamber connecting to the another through the openings. So these are the opening. So the each chamber connecting through the another chamber through the one chamber connecting to the another chamber through the openings. One chamber connecting. One chamber connecting another chamber through the openings. Through the openings, valvular openings. The one chamber is connecting through the another chamber. One chamber is connecting another chamber through the openings. Through the openings. Next one, the last chamber. So there the 13th chamber is the last chamber. So the last chamber is the closed. Last chamber is closed. Last chamber is closed, and the first chamber continue to the aorta. First chamber is continue to the aorta. So the 13th chamber opens into the 12th chamber. 12 opens into the 11. 11 to 10, 10 opens into the 9, 9 opens into the 8, 8 opens into the 7, 7 opens into the 6, 6 opens into the 5, 5 opens into the 4, 4 opens into the 3, 3 opens into the 2, 2 opens into the 1. The one chamber, the first chamber is continued to the aorta. First chamber is continued to the aorta. So the aorta opens into the head. The aorta opens into the head sinus. The aorta opens into the head sinus. The aorta opens into the head sinus. The 13th chamber is closed. The 13th chamber is closed. The 13th chamber opens into the 12th chamber. 12 opens into the 11. So they are the posterior to anterior direction. The first chamber is continued to the aorta. That aorta is opens into the head sinus. Head sinus. Next one. So these are the like heart chambers. So the one chamber opening through the another chambers through the openings. Like these are the openings. So they are the move to the this side. So they are the openings. Like the 13th chamber is closed. 13th chamber is closed. Next one, the each chamber. The each chamber contain a one pair of ostia. Each chamber contain a one pair of ostia. Each chamber contain a ostia. So these are the ostia. Each chamber contain a ostia, one pair of ostia. Each chamber contain a one pair of ostia. So these ostia function. Each chamber contain one pair of ostia. One pair of ostia. So ostia. So the ostia function. So these are the ostia function. Blood enters into the heart through the ostia. Blood enters into heart through the ostia. The ostia, they helps from the blood enters into the heart. Like these are the blood flow. So blood entering this the ostia. So same, all the chambers contain a one pair of the ostias. So they are the valvular ostias. A valvular function only allow the one angle. So they are the outside to inside allow the blood circulation. The blood does not backward flow, only one way allow. So they are the blood entering into the hemocoel to heart. So these are entirely hemocoel. So the hemocoel contain a blood. That blood enters into the heart through the ostia. So like this, like ostia, the blood enters into the heart through the ostia. So these ostia only one way allow of the blood circulation, only a hemocoel to enter into heart only. The heart backward flow, prevention of the backward flow, only allow from the blood from the hemocoel to heart only. So these are the heart. So the cockroach heart is a long muscular long tube. The cockroach heart is a long muscular tube. Next one, it contains a 13 chambers. 3 chambers in thorax, 10 chambers in abdomen. 3 chambers in thorax, 10 chambers in abdomen. Next one chamber connecting through the another chamber. One chamber connecting another chamber through the openings. The 13th chamber is closed. The first chamber is continued to the aorta. See, this aorta opens into the head sinus. Next one, each chamber contain a one pair of the ostia. These ostia function. The blood allow from the hemocoel to heart only. These ostia function, blood allow to hemocoel to heart only. So these are the cockroach heart. The next class discuss cockroach blood and functions of the blood and flow chart of the circulation. Discuss next class.